Welcome to Litbit channel. Today we will see the short story. Let's see what is a short story. A short story is a brief work of prose fiction that can be read in one sitting, usually taking between 30 minutes to an hour. It has specific techniques and characteristics that distinguish it from longer form like novel. Then Edgar Allan Poe is considered the father of the modern short story. His work, especially An MS Found in a Bottle in 1833, helped shape the short story into an art form. Edgar Allan Poe influenced many European authors such as Gary Maupassant, Balzac, Anton Chekhov, Leo Tolstoy, Conan Doyle, Galsworthy, Kipling, H.G. Wells, and Samar Muhammad. The modern short story originated in the mid 19th century in America, largely influenced by Poe. It quickly became popular in Europe and worldwide. The features of short story. Key features of a short story include brevity, unity of effect, concentrations on one character or event, and the requirement to entertain the reader. The characteristics of the short story, its brevity, it is short and concise. Next one is single purpose. It focus on one main event, character or idea. Next one, unity of effect. All parts contribute to one central impression. Next one, economy of words. Every word serves the story purpose. Then categorization. It develops one or two aspects of the character. Then dialogue. It's direct and to the point out. Next one, atmosphere. The mood fits the story tone. Types of short story. First one, love story. It focuses on romance and relationship. Next one, adventurous story. It involves daring exploits and thrills. Next one, detective story. It revolves around solving a mystery or crime. Next one, psychological story. It focuses on the mental and emotional states of character. Next one, scientific story based on science or speculative ideas. Next one, social story. It addresses social issues and conflict in the society. Various themes are easily accessible and often leaves a lasting impression due to their focused nature. Next one, limitation of short story. Short stories have limited character development and plot complexity. They can't explore as much as a novel and they focus on creating a single effect which might restrict broader themes. Next one, famous short stories and authors are. Some famous authors include Edgar Allan Poe, Gary Maupassant, and Chekhov, H.G. Wells. Well known stories include Poe, The Telltale Heart, Maupassant's The Necklace, and Wells' The Time Machine. Then difference between drama and short story. Drama is performance based. It focused on dialogue and action on stage, while a short story can explore internal thoughts and emotions using narrations and less formal structure. Next one, difference between novel and short story. A novel is a longer work of fiction able to explore multiple character, plot and complex themes, while a short story is concise and typically focus on a single idea or events. Modern short stories is a developed art forms requiring skillful narrations, keen observations and style. Since it originates in the 19th century, it is part of a global literature. Next one, name the modern short story writer. The prominent modern short story writers include Edgar Allan Poe, K.D. Maupassant, and Chekhov, H.G. Wells, and Samuel Moore. Next one, in conclusion part, the short story is a distinct literary form that is shorter than a novel and focus on a single themes or events. While it lacks the depth of a novel, its brevity and focus make it an important and valuable forms of modern literature. Let's recall this chapter. What is the definition of a short story? A short story is a concise piece of prose fiction designed to be read in a single sitting. Typically, it takes around 30 minutes to an hour to read and focus on an specific events, character, or themes, giving it a more direct and focused narrative compared to longer forms of fiction like novels. Next one, what is the primary characteristics of a short story? The primary characteristics of a short story is brevity. It is a compact of short story. It meant to be read in a one sitting. The brevity focus the readers to concentrate on one themes or idea with their limited scopes for character development and plot. Next one, how is the short story different from a novel? A short story differs from a novel in its length and structure. While a novel is a more expansive, offering rooms for multiple character subplots and detailed character development, a short story is more focused. It typically deals with a single event or character and must deliver its message in the next one. What is the significance of brevity in the short story? Brevity is a crucial in a short story because it allows for a complete narrative within a short span of time. This quality enables the writer to create a tight, focused narrative, ensure the short story remains engaging and can be read in one sitting without losing the reader's attention. Next one, what has the short story been popularly in every age and country? The short story has been popular across cultures and ages because it fulfills the human's need for storytelling in a concise form. From myths and legends to moral tales, short stories have provided entertainment, education, and the reflection of a society in a quick, engaging manners. Next one, name two ancient works that contributed to the development of the short story. Two ancient works that contributed to the development of the short story are the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. These texts, while epic in nature, contains numerous chartered stories and anecdotes that are foundational to the genre of short storytelling. Next one, how has the short story evolved in modern literature? In modern literature, the short story has evolved into the highly artistic forms. Writers focus more on the psychological depth of character, intricate observations of life, and stylistic excellence. The short story has become a medium for exploring complex themes within a limited narrative space. Next one, who is considered the father of the modern short story? Edgar Allan Poe is considered the father of modern short story. He pioneered the development of the genre by emphasizing unity of effect, where all elements of the story work together to produce a singular impact impressions. When did the modern short story originate in America? The modern short story originated in the second quarter of the 19th century in America. Which European writers are acknowledged masters of the short story? European writers who are considered master of the short story include Gary Maupassant, Balzac, Chekhov, and Leo Tolstoy. These authors helped establish the for refine the short story forms through their explorations of complex character and human emotion. Next one, what is the primary aim of the short story? The primary aim of the short story is to entertain the reader, often with the specific focus on creating an emotional or intellectual impact. It may also aim to provoke thoughts or reflect on a particular aspects of human nature or society. Next one, what is mean by economy of means in a short story? Economy of means refers to the uses of only necessity and relevant details in a short story. Every word, action, descriptions must serve the central purpose, and unnecessary elements are avoided to maintain the society brevity and focus. Why is absolute brevity important in the short story? Absolute brevity ensures that the story remains focused on its core themes without diverging into subplots or exclusive details. This compact structure allows the writer to create a powerful, unified effects, often eliciting a quick emotional or intellectual response from the reader. Next one, what is the importance of the concentrations in a short story? Concentration ensures that is a vital in a short story Concentration is vital in a short story because it ensures that the narrative remains tightly focused on a single event's character or ideas. By limiting the scopes, the writers can delve deeply into on aspects of the story, producing a more impactful and cohesive narrative. Next one, what does a singleness of effect mean in the context of the short story? Singleness of effects refers to the idea that a short story should be crafted in such a way that all its elements, character, plot, setting, and tone work together to create one unified emotional or intellectual response. The goal is to have a lasting impact on distraction. Next one, how what character portrayed in a short story? In a short story, characters are often portrayed through specific action, dialogue, or situations that reveals key traits or motivation. Due to the limited space, only the most significant aspects of their personalities are explored, often focused on a single defining traits or situation. What is the advantages of a novel over the short story regarding character development? The novel has the advantages of space, allowing for more in-depth character development. It can explore a character's background, emotions, and evaluations over time, offering a fuller, more nuanced understanding of their personality and motivation. Next one, why can't short story introduce many characters? A short story typically focuses on the limited number of characters to maintain clarity and depth. Introducing too many characters would spread a narrative too thin, preventing the writers from fully developing each character or focusing on the single cohesive theme. Next one, what the role does dialogue play in the short story? Dialogue plays a crucial role in developing character and advancing the plot in a short story. It provides a insight into a character thoughts, personality, and relationship with others, and often serves to reveal key details without the need for excessive exploitation. Next one, how is the atmosphere significant in a short story? The atmosphere in a short story is important because it helps establish the tone or mood of the narrative. It creates an emotional backdrop against which the story unfolds, influencing the reader's perceptions of events and characters and enhancing the overall impact. Next one, what is the primary challenge of the short story writer due to limited space? The primary challenges is to create a complete and satisfying narrative within a restricted word count. The writer must focus on economy of words, ensuring that every deal serves the story's purpose and contribution to the overall effect without feeling rushed. Why does the short story requires a better artist than the novel? A short story requires more skill because the writer must convey depth and meanings in fewer words. The writer must use each element, plot, character, dialogue, and descriptions effectively and efficiently to create a power impact in a short space. Next one, what is the main limitations of the short story in comparison to the novel? The main limitations of the short story is it is the inability to explore the complexity of life and characters in the same way a novel can. A short story focus on brevity and singularity restrict its ability to dwell into multiple layer of character development or plot. Next one, why is the short story considered a separate literary form from the novel? The short story is considered a separate form because it has its own unique rules, brevity, focus, and unity of effects. Unlike the novel, which can develop multiple characters, subplots, and ideas, the short story is concise and often revolve around the single. Next one, how is the short story related to the drama? Both the short story and drama requires brevity and economy of language. However, while drama is performed and relies on dialogue and actions on stage, The short story is written and can explore the internal thoughts and emotions of character in way that drama typically cannot. Then, what is make the short story more flexible than the drama? The short story is a more flexible because it is not bound by the constraints of performance or stage. It can employ a variety of narrative techniques, including detailed description, narrations, and even shifts in perspective, allowing the writer greater freedoms in storytelling. Next one, how does the character in the short story differ from that in the drama? In the short story, characterization is typically more direct and focused on key traits, often revealed through actions or dialogue. It contrasts in drama. Character development occurs over the courses of scenes, with character evolving through dialogue and interactions, often within a large narrative frame. How did the short story allows for subjective interpretations by the writer? The short story gives the writer freedom to express their subjective viewpoints, often incorporating personal reflections or philosophies into the narrative. The limited spaces allows for a more focused, introspective explorations of themes, emotions, and character psychology. The next one, what are some reasons for the immense popularity of the short story in modern times? The popularity of the short story today is partially due to the fast paced nature of modern life. Whereas readers often prefer quick and accessible content. Additionally, the rise of education and journalism with short stories frequently published in magazines and online platforms has contributed to their widespread appeal. Next one, what role has the spread of education and journalism played in the popularity of short story? The spread of education increased literacy rate, making literature more accessible to the wider audience. Journalism played a role by providing a platform for short stories in magazines and in newspapers, making them available to readers who sought entertainment in manageable in time efficient format. Why is the short story suitable for modern readers who are often pressed for time? Short stories are ideal for modern readers with limited time because they can be consumed in one setting, offering an engaging narrative or emotional experience without requiring a lengthy time commitment. This makes them well suited to busy life. Types of short story based on their themes. Some common types of short stories based on their themes, including love stories, adventure stories, detective stories, psychological stories, scientific stories, and social stories. Each type focuses on a specific genre or theme, providing varied reading experience. What is a typical plot of a love story in a short story? A love story in a short story typically involves two characters who falls in love but face obstacles or conflicts that challenging in their relationship. The plot often culminates in either a happy resolutions or a tragic outcomes, exploring the emotional dynamics of a love and a relationship. Next one, how does an adventure story differ from a detective story? An adventure story focuses on daring exploits, thrilling actions, and the protagonist's journey through exciting or dangerous situations. A detective stories, on the other hand, centers on solving a crime or mystery with a plot resolving around the uncovered clues and piecing together a puzzle. Next one, what is the focus of a psychological story? The focus of the psychological story is on your mental and emotional states of the character. It explores their inner thoughts, motivations, and conflicts, often dealing with complex emotions and personal dilemmas that affects their actions and perception. Next one, what distinguishes a scientific story or scientific fantasy from other short story? A scientific story or a scientific fantasy distinguishes itself by incorporating speculative or imaginative elements based on scientific concept or possibilities. It often blends fictions with scientific ideas, exploring what could be scientifically possible or futuristic technology or worse. Next one. What is the purpose of a social story in short story writing? The purpose of social story is to shed light on social issue, inequalities or conflicts within society. These stories often serves to critics some social norms, raise awareness about important issues, and advocate for societal change or reform. Next one, how does the social story address social problems? A social story addresses social problems by presenting them within the context of the completing narrative, often using characters and situations to highlight societal flaws. These stories may suggest solutions or provoking thoughts on how we are addressed to the issues they portray. Thank you, viewers. Thanks for watching this video.